Welcome back, everybody, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. As always, I'm your host, Litecoin Leader. Today, we're getting back in the swing of things and doing some more coin talk. It's ALTCOINopoly time. ALTCOINopoly season. The game is in full swing. We're about a third of the way through. We got plenty of coins to go. We have a lot of coins to go between now and end of July. So with that in mind, I've got a big one today. In fact, we've got 2 coins. It's so large for the holiday weekend. We're putting 2 coins out today. They're kind of a pair duo, but it's a significant spot on the board. You can probably figure out what it might be, but it's 2 spaces today. And the reason I'm putting it out today, I remember I told you I was going to jump around the board. The reason I'm jumping around the board now is because the timing is significant. There's lots of coins. I would love to give you all the coins today. I can't do that. That's part of the game. But there are some coins that have timed events where it matters when the information comes out. These 2 coins have that condition. So I'm giving that coin out today, and I'm going to tell a story about how I found it, and we're going to talk about the coin and where it could go and why it's one of my top coins, is why I got that space on the board. And we're going to get into that right now. So once again, we want to take a look at the ALTCOINopoly board and see where we are on the board and what pieces we're talking about today. Now, as I've said before, after I completed Zone 1, we're going to start moving all around the board. And there are many reasons why, but this particular coin, actually it's going to be more than one coin, there's an event happening at the end of June. So I want to get this video out there today rather than wait and just have my subscribers not be able to take advantage of this. So I want all the subscribers to LitecoinLeader.com and on the YouTube to have the advantage of knowing that this is coming. So there's a particular release for next generation of this product or products that's coming out at the end of June. So without further ado, we're going to talk into Zone 4. Zone 4, the board is the right side of the board as you look at the screen. That is the top tier projects, and we're not going to go much higher. You can't go any higher than these 2 particular spaces. These are the premier spaces on this particular type of board. So we're talking about a project called Theta and its sister chain, Theta Fuel. So Theta Fuel is like the gas to Neo or Ethereum. It fuels Theta. That's hence the name Theta Fuel. So whenever you move Theta from one person to another or to do a transaction in Theta, you need a little bit of Theta Fuel. So Theta Fuel is getting an upgrade. The network it continues to evolve. It continues to upgrade. The first upgrade added staking for Theta. Now we're adding staking for Theta Fuel, and we've also changed how large the nodes have to be for staking. So at the end of June, Theta Fuel will be able to be fully staked, but you need at least 10,000 Theta Fuels in order to get that return. Now, there's debates on how the return is going to work. Most people are ballparking around 10%, but at 10% on today's prices may be a much higher percentage when Theta Fuel goes up. So that's something to keep in mind. So today's 2 coins that we're going to talk about, and they hold the 2 premier spaces on the board, are Theta and Theta Fuel. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. So as you might imagine, Theta is a top project for me. Again, not financial advice. It's just my perception and my opinions only. But I could talk for a long time about Theta. I've been following this project since 2018. It's an interesting story, which I'll relate at the end of the video about how I came to be that I was aware of this project. But there's a lot going on with this project, and I'm just going to walk through as much as I can of it without making this video too long. So the first reason I want to mention Theta and Theta Fuel now is because they are launching Mainnet 3.0 in 31 days at the end of June. So you can do the math when I'm recording this. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm recording this Theta Fuel video. I found it to be important to get this out to everybody. So what is Theta? What is it all about? So back in 2017, there was a team behind what they called Sliver.tv at the time. That's now been rebranded to Theta.tv. That was looking to do more internet traffic and video. And they said that over 80% of all the internet traffic is going to be video by 2020. So these guys focused on building out. You got Steve Chen and Justin Kahn, both involved. They were used to be involved in YouTube and Twitch. They understood that video on online services and that they needed a new network to support all of this. Hence, Theta and Theta Fuel. So this was back in 2017. So we started to get wind about that project about that time, and then that's where we learned about, the Theta was what they were all about. Theta was a blockchain-based video delivery network, and they've been progressing the project ever since then. First there was Theta, then they announced the addition of Theta Fuel back in 2018, where they were basically, if you remember, it's probably not a good analogy of Napster, but think of everybody just sharing, just file sharing throughout the internet and just sharing bandwidth of just relaying videos to make everyone have more bandwidth and more video availability. This expands beyond video, though, because it could be actually the next generation of the internet itself, creating a distributed bandwidth platform, not just for video, but for all of data networks. So imagine everything that runs the internet now and going forward being running on a Theta network. So moving forward, here's 3.0, which comes out at the end of June. They delayed it. There was some concern in March or April when they delayed it out to June, but Theta's delayed. They delayed mainnet 2.0 before, so it's probably not that big of a surprise that they delayed 3.0. But what this is going to allow, for one of the things it's going to allow, is that there's Theta and there's Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel is the secondary coin that was originally given out free to Theta holders back in 2018, I believe. But the T Fuel is the transactionary cost of moving Theta or moving things on the network. You could also be rewarded in Theta Fuel several ways, and they've added a new way, which is staking Theta Fuel. You can stake Theta and earn Theta Fuel, but now you can stake Theta Fuel itself and earn even more Theta Fuel. Back to the Sliver.tv. This is constantly running. Hopefully it's not going to make too much noise. I got to turn the volume down, but Theta.tv has a lot of different things that are available on their platform for you to watch, and you can watch and earn T-Fuel on certain programs, and also relay that video, sharing your own bandwidth to make afford people to watch this as well. That helps you to earn more T-Fuel. You can even tip the video makers and the people who are making the content in T-Fuel so they can earn T-Fuel as well. And we'll get to this in a little bit, but one of the major partnerships they've struck was with the World Poker Tour. They've also worked with MGM Studios and several Fail Army. So they're constantly working on new partnerships for content. As far as Theta itself, they actually have 4 patents in the blockchain space about data streaming and delivery networks. So we've got, the first one was in 2019. They were, the micropayment supports, that's your Theta Fuel tipping. But they patented that application, and now they have the patent on decentralized data streaming and delivery networks, and also they furthered that with additional patents. And I've got a few articles here. I've got the second patent and the third patent. So high bandwidth, high transactions, micropayments, all patented by Theta for video delivery and data delivery. So think about that for a minute. Think about all the things that can be delivered on a new internet. If Theta becomes the new internet backbone, or that's the new platform that everybody's sending video, predominantly video, and this is the way that you have decentralized video and data delivery with micropayments, they own the patent on it. So anyone that tries to attempt to replicate this or to build upon this is going to have to work out a partnership and contribute to Theta because they own the patent. And similarly, in the third patent, it was peer discovery, more building on the same concept of data streaming and delivery network. So they've got several patents, which is huge. This is intellectual property, huge that they can enforce this, that they can have this as part of their roadmap as they get to generation 3 of their network. Next comes the discussion. This is a very interesting topic, and not many people have gone down this rabbit hole yet, but I'm going to, and I think it's important for you guys to understand how important VR is to all this. Theta has partnered with Samsung VR. VR is a major contributor to the demand on the bandwidth for video. Right now, internet bandwidth is not there to support VR streaming, but they're trying to get there. Theta's architecture is going to allow the internet, as it grows, using the Theta platform, to be able to supply the data rates needed to do VR over the internet. Why do I know this? Why do I know that this is part of what they're doing? Look at the team. Mitch Liu is the CEO and co-founder at Theta Labs. Both him and his other partner, it's highlighted right down here. Mitch is the co-inventor and holds 4 patents in the video streaming, virtual reality, and blockchain space. He has been involved in virtual reality before Theta. So was his partner, I think that was Mr. Chen. So both these guys are deep into VR. They know the desire for VR and what it can afford in the entertainment space and also the gaming space. But they needed to build a platform to deliver that content. That's what Theta's all about. That's why Theta's going to be so big. Now, they're also striking more deals on not just the technology, but also content contributors. So here's an article from CoinDesk about Theta has what they call validator nodes. There's 15 validator nodes. The most recent one was located in Los Angeles. People were wondering who it was. It was just recently announced that Hollywood powerhouse CAA is joining with Theta. So who is CAA? CAA is a huge, the top talent agency in the U.S., and they're number one as far as talent. They have talent from music, television, movies, sports entertainment, a lot of big names. A lot of big names are on CAA. So that's a contributing factor. Now, who's number 2 on this list? And this is from a video that I took from Cryptos for All, which great video. It's a shorter video, but I didn't want to just play the whole video for you. I'll leave it in the content here. But I took a couple of screenshots from it. The second one that's biggest is United Talent Agency. Who's United Talent Agency? Well, they happen to be close tie to Sam Wick, who is the head of ventures at Theta. So now you have ties between not just CAA, but also United Talent Agency, all to Theta. So as you can probably imagine, the Theta team is looking at how to leverage their technology, which is part of what they've been doing recently, is NFTs. They've launched NFTs, and they just started putting out NFTs, like broadcasting the World Poker Tour, and also doing NFT drops. That was their first platform. They're doing NFT drops. So as they build up the NFT space, you can only imagine how all those talents and the agencies will want to capitalize on the very hot NFT market with all the entertainment people that they represent to launch NFTs on the Theta platform. And lastly, I just wanted to point out a few other validator nodes. There's 15 validator nodes for Theta, on the Theta network. You have to have 2 million Theta to launch a Theta node. Theta has about half of them, but Google, Sony, Samsung, Binance, Blockchain, I'm not familiar with Gumi. I don't know who that is exactly, but Theta has to approve you to become a validator node. So if you happen to have 2 million Thetas, which is a lot of money, it's like $15 million, even if you had that, you can't necessarily become a validator node. You have to get approval by the Theta network. So Theta has recently approved CAA because they want to strike a partnership. They want to start building these relationships with content stars, content providers, build the NFTs, and build out this network and create demand for this next generation network as they build eventually towards what's most likely to be a VR delivery platform and probably the next generation of the internet itself. So now we take a look at the charts. And since we're doing 2 coins, we actually have 4 charts to take a look at. So we're going to start with Theta itself against the dollar, USDT, and then Theta against Bitcoin. Looking at the 1-year chart, we can see how much of a run Theta has really had. We saw this real run up from December to breaking over $1 into January. And then it was stagnant for a while, then it took off into the threes, pulled back, and then just exploded. And the explosion here was roughly, let's see, it went from 3 to roughly about 15. Well, it got to a peak of 15. So it went between 300 and 400%. So let's call it 300% for simplicity's sake. So it went up 300%, and now it's been retracing back. Again, coins have been coming back a little bit. But if we look at this in a Fibonacci retracement and see where this can go, and also some of the 300%, let's just say it went up 300%. Could it go up another 300%? Yes. Right now it's roughly at $6 to $7. 300% move here would take it to about 20. Now, if I look at this chart and just say that this is a Fibonacci retracement, where this is elite wave theory would say this might be a wave 1, that's a wave 2. Wave 3 can be explosive. It could go up 1.6 to 2.6 of the size of wave 2. So doing those numbers, remember where I said that this could triple from 7 to around 20. The first level in the Fibonacci is 19. The second level at 2.6 is 27. So seems like the butter zone of where Theta could wind up, not financial advice, but what the charts are telling me, Theta could wind up between $19 and $27 in the next time it runs up. And that seems to make sense because once it clears this all-time high in the high 15s, it has a very good chance of making a run to double from 15 up to almost 30. So again, not financial advice, but that those numbers would not surprise me. Now, if we look at Theta versus Bitcoin, similarly in the time frame we were talking about, it ran up 200%, over 200% against Bitcoin. So it outperformed Bitcoin over the same time frame. So let's just call it it was over 200%, but let's just say it's 200%. So Bitcoin, if Bitcoin was to go back up to its around 60,000 level from where it is today, we could see that it could get up. That's another 50% move. Could pull things up with it. So there's a double in Theta. So seeing a double to a triple in Theta, to a $20 range is certainly not unheard of based on, the upwards push that the entire market could get by Bitcoin going back up, and also how Theta's chart tells you to go to $20 to $30. So now let's take a look over at Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel against the US dollar has had quite the run up as well. It's actually probably going up more significantly than Theta has this year. You can see it was only 3 cents, and then all of a sudden it got to almost 40 cents and actually got higher. But it ran up a good 1,000%, like a 10x. Now it's trickled down here in kind of what I would draw as a flag. Let's see if I can draw it. Do a parallel channel. I'll just draw the lines. So from here, I'm going to draw another line. So you can see this is kind of a flag shape. So hide that away. So we had a run up here from all the way down here from 3 cents up into the 40 to almost 50 cent range. It did peek into there briefly. So it's a big move, and then made a flag move. It's been retracing since mid-March. So that measured move is big. It's 1,000%, over 1,000%. Call it conservatively 1,000%, which would be about here. So 1,000% from where it is today would put this from 30 cents to $3. That would probably be an aggressive number to target, but it would not be outlandish considering the original ratio when Theta to Theta Fuel was launched. Theta Fuel was given at 5 to 1. So you got 5 Theta Fuels for every Theta. If Theta gets to $20 to $30, it wouldn't be... If Theta got to $15, which it did, 5 to 1 would put Theta Fuel at $3. Now, do I expect the 5 to 1 ratio to hold long term? Maybe not. Could be more like 10 to 1. But if Theta gets up to $25, $30, there again, Theta Fuel is at $3 again. So you can see a path to $3 for Theta Fuel. Plus, there's going to be more demand for Theta Fuel from now until the end of June, which is why this video is coming out now, because Theta Fuel is going to be able to be staked. And you need 10,000 Theta Fuels to stake. Those are going to be easier to acquire now at 30 cents than it's going to be at $3. Simple math there. So for 10,000, let's see, 1,000 would be $300. So you're looking for about $3,000, roughly, of an investment to be able to set up a Theta Fuel node. And if you had that amount of Theta Fuel, then you could start earning rewards and supporting the network and getting all the benefits of being involved in the Theta project and having a node. So again, I'm going to keep saying it, not financial advice. It's just my opinion. I think Theta Fuel is going to go up faster because Theta Fuel is going to be in higher demand because of what the potential is in the near term, because Theta Fuel was not stakeable by itself before, and it will become July. So target price for me, and I could see $3. That might be a bit of a large extension here, but it did go up a factor of 10x. Even if you take it from 30 cents, even if you just say 5x, that's $1.50. I think there's enough upwards positivity both in the news and in the shape of the chart that tells me that Theta Fuel could probably outperform Theta in the near term. Here's a cup. There's a cup formation after the flag. That's interesting. So Theta Fuel is actually starting to do better against Bitcoin in the month of May than other coins. So it's actually improving against Bitcoin. So if I measured this, it's actually a 300 sat. Looks like, yeah, it's like 70% is the depth of that cup. So if you consider this as a cup formation, maybe it starts to trickle down a little bit and creates a handle. But that could happen. But then if it would break out, let's say it got down to like 750 sats, I would expect 1,000 sats-ish up from 800. Now, I could see a 50% move against Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin again goes up to its previous number, so you could easily get a short-term double in Theta Fuel based on what the chart's telling me. So both projects look very good. Short-term, I would say Theta Fuel looks a little bit better than Theta. Theta might be in a better acquisition point against Bitcoin, just because it doesn't have that upwards swing yet, but that upward swing is starting to happen because people are anticipating that staking possibility, eventuality actually, when it happens with the network gets released up into upgrade 3.0 at the end of June or in the first week of July.
So there it is, Theta Fuel. Two of my top coins on my board. Yes, I have 30 plus coins on the board, as you're coming to know. But if you had to tell me, ask me what's my top 5, Theta would be one of my top 5. You saw all the news I talked about, all the reasons I said. The next generation of the internet, virtual reality, bandwidth. Everybody's doing video content. The reason you're watching this video now on YouTube and on other formats later on is because video demand. We are going more and more to video communications over the internet, and we need more bandwidth. YouTube is getting jammed up. The internet's getting jammed up. We need more and more bandwidth. We need solutions for it. This company, Theta, has those solutions. It goes all the way up to virtual reality, VR, which they're definitely gunning for. They have a history with it. And they've got patents, so that if other people come along and try to figure out a different solution, odds are they're going to infringe on the patents. So Theta will still get money anyway. So Theta is a great long-term play. I promised I would tell this story about how I came to learn about this coin. I have to give props to another YouTuber, JSnip4. He started talking about it 4 years ago, and I was watching him. He's one of the few. Him, Bitcoin Ben, Omar Bam, Big Swear, all these guys were talking about different coins back in the day, but there weren't a lot of people talking about like these cutting edge coins. Well, it just so happens that there were 2 serendipitous moments for Snippy. Serendipitous Snippy, that's not easy to say. But in the space of a week, he had a friend who talked to an intuitive, and she was just getting exposure into cryptocurrency, and she came to mention this coin called Theta. And Snippy's friend had no idea about this coin, but they started to dig into it, and they found out about this project. They started to learn about the connections to Twitch and YouTube and the bandwidth, and they're like, this is a great idea. This is a coin. I don't know how we didn't find this before, but we like it. And then less than a week later, Dick Allgaier came to Snippy, and I think it was one of the first times they had talked, and Dick had a vision or a viewing, because he's a remote viewer, of the Theta symbol, and he had no idea what it meant. And Snippy did. And he's like, oh, that's an interesting sign. That's why Snippy chose to go so hard into Theta. And a lot of us said, well, that's worth the shot. And we rolled some dice, and we are very glad we did. So you have to have all these different sources. When things start to align for multiple sources, it's not just you look at like, oh, well, an intuitive told me, or someone had a vision and saw this. That's a clue. That doesn't mean that's entirely how you base your judgment. It's a clue to take a look at the project. So when you look at the project, you're like, ooh, this is a good project. Doesn't matter how you learn about the project. It could have been like, a poster on the side of a billboard, or just a card stuck up at Panera, however, or just somebody said, hey, did you hear about this coin? And you start digging into it. And when 3 or 4 people say, hey, I've heard about this, or so there's something maybe behind this, that's when you dig in and do your own homework. And that's what I did. And I dug in. I understand bandwidth. I understand the internet and the demands on VR and all these, and understand intellectual property and patents and how valuable they can be in this space. So for all those reasons, I was very big into Theta, and I've been in it for over 3 years now and been quite happy with it. But I still consider it, even after making good gains in it, not financial advice, of course, but I've had a success story with it. Doesn't always play out that way, but I still hold on to the project because I still believe in the project. I think the long-term potential of this project is quite high. So it's one of my top coins, deservedly gets the space that it got on the board. And we're going to keep talking about more coins. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, and I'll see you next time.